Eric Bakker. I'm Eric Bakker, the naturopath. You may know me from the Candida Crusher channel. Thanks for tuning in. My new formulations are coming out. I've been talking about new formulations for some time. I've been trying for a long time to make an additional Candida product called Candida Boost, which I really wanted to launch, but COVID basically kiboshed the whole thing. So we really couldn't get the raw materials that we wanted to. I tried for nearly 2 years to get raw materials for Candida Boost. I tried and tried and tried. I don't give up, but I've literally given up just recently, realizing I'm getting older, I'm waiting, I'm making calls, I'm emailing, I just can't get this show off the road. So I've ditched Candida Boost, okay? But what I have done, I've been working also for a long time on other formulations. If you've seen my recent video that was published on the C3K Plus, the new vitamin C product I've launched, that was launched by a company called NZ or New Zealand Formulations. The second New Zealand Formulations product which we're launching now, not a good finger, is it? Yeah, well I like roses, and the secateurs got my finger. Anyway, let me hold it like that for you. Yeah, omega-3 plus. So let me tell you about fish oil. I've been studying and working with fish oil now for over 20 years. I looked at New Zealand fish oils, I've looked at Canadian fish oils, I've looked at many fish oils. I've had many discussions with fish oil experts, both in the US and on my trips to Europe, to various supplement conferences and fairs. I know quite a few expert people in this department. There's one lady in particular I spent a lot of time with, a Scottish PhD researcher who did a dissertation in fish oils, in particularly in the EPA DHA breakdown. And this lady was one of the scientists who wrote papers that was responsible partly for fish oil becoming quite well known. So everybody's heard about omega-3 fish oil, but guess what? About 30 years ago, no one talked about it. People have only recently been starting to take fish oil again. When I was a kid, cod liver oil was the norm. You would get a teaspoon of this horrible smelling stuff in wintertime. And then it all died. People didn't really take fish oils for years until studies were conducted and published. I think they were the Cambridge studies showing how the intelligence quotient, or IQ, how smart people were, was directly linked to how much fish oil they had in their diet up to a certain age. So they did these big studies, and they literally found that when children had omega-3 in their diet and children didn't have omega-3 in their diet, the differences were quite astounding in terms of how smart that child ended up becoming, and the cognitive function. So there's certainly something there, and then the world sat back and took notice. But here's the problem with omega-3. There's a lot of crap out there, a lot of crap, right? If you've got a fish oil container at home now, I want you to go and grab it, go to your pantry or kitchen, grab it and hold it up and look at the label, right? If it's got anchovy on it, it's a problem. If you don't believe me, go to the internet and do your own searches. 80% plus of fish oil supplements today contain Peruvian anchovy. And according to the United Nations Food Administration, it's the most exploited fishery in the world. So if you're eating fish oil or taking it with anchovy in it, you're actually getting it from fisheries that are being, basically munted. I mean, people are just, it's a free-for-all. It's not really good. The Marine Stewardship Council, in charge of a lot of the sustainable fisheries, really don't like the anchovy fisheries at all in terms of the exploitation. So buying a fish oil product like from Amazon, you'll find them at Costco's, you'll find them on iHerb, you'll find them on all of these companies will sell cheap fish oils or expensive ones, and they'll contain anchovy. If it's just got fish on it or fish oil or mixed species, be very wary. Single origin is clever. Now, why did I make another fish oil product when there's 5 million already out there? When every man and every woman and every kangaroo is designing a fish oil product? Well, this isn't just a fish oil product. Let me explain to you what this omega-3 plus is, okay? So it's very important to get the right type of fish species from a sustainable fishery. So this has got fish in it called wild Alaskan pollock. It's like a type of cod. It lives around, there are 3 main fisheries where it's harvested from, particularly around the Bering Sea, really high up, where it's freezing cold and deep water. The best fish oils, which I learned from this Scottish lady, come from the deepest oceans. The deeper and colder the more health benefits are conferred to the person taking that oil. The higher the pressure the fish lives under, the colder the water, the more powerful the fish's immune responses become and producing an oil of a very high grade quality. Now anchovies live 60, 70 meters deep. They're tropical species. It's not a great fish oil. It's not. Because remember, omega-3 isn't just EPA and DHA, okay? There are hundreds of types of lipids and compounds that make up a fish oil. Hundreds of compounds. It's very complex. I've got an Excel spreadsheet that's as long as your left and right arm and little finger put together, which just shows you all of the different types of breakdowns of oils that are actually in a fish oil. And from my research, the best fish oils come from the coldest oceans, the cleanest oceans. But this product's unique in that it's sustainable, okay? So the pollock fisheries in the US has been rated as the world's most sustainable fishery according to the Marine Stewardship Council. So that means a lot to me, to be able to supply a product that's sustainable. The entire fish is used, every part of the fish is used. This is a very powerful fish oil. Many fish oils you buy are basically 180, 120, so they're blends. 180 milligrams of DHA, 120 of EPA. Okay, well, sometimes they'll swap them around, but you'll usually see these 1812. If you see 1812, it's a standard blend. Now the problem with the blends is many companies buy a few 44-gallon drums of fish oil from some mum and dad outfit in XYZ country. Then they'll get, say, large amount from this company. Everything gets blended and blended, It's not a great idea. You don't know what you're buying. You're in deep water if you buy something like that, so be careful, all right? Now, let me tell you about omega-3 Plus. We've got the pollock oil in here, sustainable, all right? But we've also added other stuff in here. So I've got 50 micrograms or 2,000 international units of vitamin D3, the cholecalciferol per serve. Go to the internet and have a look at what vitamin D3 does for the immune system. This has got a nice dose in there. Now if we look at the EPA-DHA ratio, sorry I forgot to tell you that before, each dose of this, which is 2 capsules, you've got 670 milligrams of EPA and you've got 340 of DHA. And you've also got something called, as I keep mispronouncing it, astaxanthin, astaxanthin, or azathan. Let me just pronounce it again. Astaxanthin, okay? And what I do know about astaxanthin is it's red. It's a carotenoid. Now, carotenoids are naturally occurring compounds. You find them, in fact, beta-carotene is a carotenoid, and it makes the carrot the orange color. So carotenoids are very potent. So the astaxanthin is actually the red coloring of the salmon, because the salmon eats algae, and the algae contain, this stuff called Haemococcus pluvialis. That's the name of this algae, this freshwater algae. Salmon are amazing creatures. Their body's full of astaxanthin. So salmon actually come from the ocean, swim all the way upstream, all the way to the gravel beds, sometimes going up waterfalls. Scientists believe the power of the salmon comes from the astaxanthin carotenoid from the algae that they consume. So the Haemococcus algae get highly stressed in these small pools all around the place in summer, and they get redder and redder and redder to stop their DNA getting damaged by the ultraviolet exposure. So when they did research on this particular carotenoid, they found it to be incredibly powerful. In fact, probably one of the most powerful carotenoids ever discovered. Go and look at the research. Hundreds of times more powerful than vitamin E in its effect. Now this is a carotenoid and an antioxidant. Guess what? It actually loves fat and it loves water. Okay, hydrophilic and lipophilic, which means it acts both in water and fat compounds in the cell. It protects the cell against a lot of damage. So when you take a fish oil, it's nice to have that additional astaxanthin in there, okay, because it's going to help muscle endurance, it's going to help a whole bunch of things. But particularly protection, you're protecting your cells from damage. And that's what a fish oil can do too. But please go and have a look at the technical page on Canzida.com and have a look at the omega-3 Plus. Click on the link up above on the products and read all about it. Right? This is a one-of-a-kind fish oil. And it's powerful, it's sustainable, it's unique, and it's a perfect partner. I've only got this at the moment because it's so hot new, this product. It's a perfect partner with 3CK+. So this is a super powerful vitamin C. So now when you take a C compound and an omega-3 together, it's incredible the benefits you're going to get from that. So please check out the page. There's a lot of things I could tell you about DHA and EPA on their effects on, interleukins and tumor necrosis factor and their anti-inflammatory and all these things, but I think it'll just go all around you and you won't really get a grasp of it. But check out the product on the page and have a good look. They make a good pigeon pair, and they're fantastic for winter time for support. The additional vitamin D, strong dose of fish oil, you can't go wrong. Thanks for tuning in.